For years, that phrase defined a man who built an empire from pure confidence. But beneath the motivational quotes, the gold chains, and the endless shouts of "we the best," something was unraveling that in the beginning. No one knew who DJ Khaled really was. Some thought he was just the guy yelling over other people's songs. Others believed he was a genius, a conductor orchestrating rap's biggest symphonies. But before the fame, before the luxury cars and the endless major keys, there was a young man sleeping on the floor of an empty apartment, surrounded by scratched vinyl records and broken dreams. This is the story of how a kid with nothing turned himself into a global brand, and how it all started to come crashing down. The story begins in the heart of New Orleans. DJ Khaled was born to Palestinian immigrant parents who arrived in America with barely $20 in their pockets. They sold clothes out of a van just to keep food on the table. Day after day, he watched his parents grind under the scorching sun, never giving up. That determination burned into him like a permanent scarred as a child. Music wasn't just a hobby, it was an escape. He spent nights fiddling with turntables in a garage, teaching himself how to mix, scratch, and blend sounds into something that felt alive. But when his family was robbed, everything they built vanished. His parents, defeated but proud, moved back to New Orleans, leaving Khaled behind in Orlando with nothing but ambition and a stack of records. He tried to survive on his own, playing local clubs, selling cheap beats, and fighting eviction after eviction. His friends would come over to find no furniture, no food, just stacks of vinyl and a dream too loud to ignore. He was broke, hungry, and alone. But even then, he believed he was destined for greatness. Eventually, the struggle broke him. He packed what little he had and returned to New Orleans, back under his parents' roof. For most people, moving home was a sign of failure, but for Khaled, it was the moment that changed everything. That he picked up odd jobs to survive, working long hours in a restaurant. Then came the opportunity that would alter his path forever, a position at Odyssey Records, a local music store where legends would come and go. It wasn't much, just organizing shelves and cleaning the floors, but it placed him directly in the heart of the city's rap. Scene.it was there he met future icons like Birdman and a young Lil Wayne. They'd stop by the shop, exchange stories, and freestyle over dusty beats while Khaled listened in awe. He wasn't part of their world yet, but he could feel the door cracking open. One night, after everyone had left, Khaled stood behind the counter, staring at the empty shop. He whispered to himself, "One day, they'll know my name." Within a year, he entered a DJ contest, and against all odds, he won. The $5,000 prize gave him a chance to chase his dream again. He left for Orlando one more time, ready to prove that his moment was coming. But fate wasn't ready to make things easy. Back in Orlando, Khaled's hustle started to draw attention, not from labels, but from the police. He was constantly getting pulled over for driving with a suspended license. The tickets piled up until one night, blue lights flashed behind him, and he was taken away in handcuffs for 30 long days. He sat in a cell, not a hardened criminal, just a dreamer trapped by his own mistakes. The walls were cold, the nights were endless, and the silence forced him to face himself. He realized he wasn't built for this life. When he walked out, he made a promise. Never again. He packed his bags once more and moved to Miami, a city pulsing with energy and opportunity. But even there, the struggle followed him. He DJ'd small clubs for pennies, sleeping in his car when he couldn't afford rent. At one point, he took a job in a private studio just for shelter, curling up in the booth after hours to sleep. Still, he didn't quit. He kept spinning. He kept believing. Because deep down, he knew every storm ends, and the sun always rises over Miami. By 2003, Khaled's persistence finally paid off. He landed his own radio show in Miami, and his energy was electric. He shouted, he laughed, he hyped up artists like no one else. Local rappers started dropping by, desperate to get their songs played. That's when Fat Joe noticed him. The two became inseparable, brothers in hustle. Khaled joined Joe's Terror Squad, and for the first time, he wasn't just spinning tracks. He was part of hip-hop's heartbeat. In 2006, he took his biggest leap yet, his debut album, Listen. The album, it featured Kanye West, John Legend, and Lil Wayne. The industry didn't know what to make of him. He didn't rap. He didn't sing. He just shouted his name and brought everyone together. Critics laughed. Fans danced. The album debuted at number 12 on Billboard that he followed up with We the Best, and suddenly, the phrase wasn't just a slogan, it was a prophecy. The years that followed turned DJ Khaled into a phenomenon. Songs like All I Do Is Win and I'm on One became anthems. He went platinum, earned Grammy nominations, and turned his name into a brand. But the true turning point came in 2015, the year he joined Snapchat. He wasn't just a DJ anymore. He was a motivational figure, a meme, a source of daily inspiration. "They don't want you to win," he'd say, as millions watched him water plants, ride jet skis, and drop life advice that felt oddly profound. The world laughed and loved him for it. Overnight, DJ Khaled became one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment. From Ellen to late-night talk shows, he was everywhere. But success has a way of testing a man's soul. The higher he rose, the louder the noise became. And in the middle of all that noise, something began to crack. As the lights of Miami glimmered beneath him, DJ Khaled looked unstoppable, a man who had conquered music, fame, and fortune through sheer willpower. But behind the cameras, the brand, and the booming voice shouting, "Another one," cracks were forming. The next chapter would reveal the other side of DJ Khaled, the controversies, the anger, and the moment when We the Best turned into what happened. The lights were blinding. The cameras were always rolling. Everywhere he went, people shouted his name, DJ Khaled. To the outside world, he was the embodiment of success, a walking symbol of positivity, wealth, and confidence. But behind that golden smile, the empire was starting to tremble. It began, like many downfalls do, with greed disguised as opportunity. By 2018, DJ Khaled was more than just a producer. He was a brand. His words could sell sneakers, headphones, even motivational books. So when a company called Tech Incorporated approached him to promote their new cryptocurrency, it looked like just another endorsement deal. The company promised a revolutionary coin that would change the future of finance. Khaled smiled for the cameras, posted glowing messages on his social media, and told his millions of followers about this game-changing investment. But what no one knew, not his fans, not the public, was that he had been paid $50,000 for those posts, and he never disclosed it. Months later, the truth exploded like a time bomb. The founders of Tech were indicted for massive fraud. The coin was fake. Investors lost millions. And DJ Khaled, the face of positivity, was now being called a scammer. When reporters confronted him, his usual smile was gone. The Securities and Exchange Commission hit him with a $750,000 fine and banned him from promoting crypto for 2 years. Online, fans turned on him. Comment sections filled with betrayal. "You said this was a major key," one fan wrote. The same internet that once crowned him king of Snapchat now mocked him for selling lies. It wasn't just money he lost, it was trust. And in the entertainment world, trust is everything. That if the crypto scandal cracked his image, 2019 shattered it completely. That year, DJ Khaled dropped an album stacked with some of the biggest names in music: Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Justin Bieber, Cardi B, and Lil Baby. The project was expected to dominate the charts. But something unexpected happened. When the numbers came out, Khaled's album debuted at number 2 on Billboard. The number 1 spot? It went to Tyler, the creator, with his experimental and unconventional album Igor. To most artists, that would be no big deal. But to DJ Khaled, the man who built his empire on the phrase, "We the Best," losing was personal. Cameras caught him storming into his label's office, furious. According to insiders, he shouted at executives, demanding answers. One witness said, "He was screaming. There was some nasty stuff said. The positivity? Gone. There's a mean side to him people don't see." Online, Khaled tried to save face. But then he posted a video that would define the moment forever. He said, "I make albums so people can play it and you actually hear it. Not no mysterious stuff that you never hear." Fans instantly connected the dots. He was talking about Tyler. And just like that, the internet turned it into a meme. Tyler responded months later, laughing. It was like watching a man die inside because the weirdo is winning. When Tyler won a Grammy for Igor, he posted a single tweet. "Mysterious music." The world laughed. And DJ Khaled, the man who had always been untouchable, suddenly looked human. After the Tyler incident, something shifted. The magic formula, big names, big beats, big hype, no longer worked. For years, DJ Khaled's secret had been collaboration. He didn't rap. He didn't sing. He just brought the right people together. But now, fans were tired. The same formula that once felt epic started to feel lazy. His new albums came and went. Songs charted, but they didn't stick. Even with Drake and Lil Baby on a track, only one song passed 100 million streams on Spotify. Once, that would have been a small victory, but for Khaled, it was a clear sign. People were moving on. Online discussions turned brutal. Viewers started saying things like, "He's just a brand now, not a musician." The endless shouting, the catchphrases, the over-the-top energy, it wasn't inspiring anymore. It was exhausting. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that Khaled was becoming paranoid. Every time he released new music, he obsessed over numbers. If it doesn't hit number one source said, he takes it personally. The man who once inspired millions with "They Don't Want You to Win" was now losing faith in himself. That DJ Khaled's brand had always been built on one word: positivity. But as the hits slowed and controversies piled up, the mask started to slip. In private, industry insiders described him as controlling, even volatile. Behind the cameras, his legendary optimism sometimes turned into rage. When things went wrong, the man who shouted "bless up" was reportedly shouting something else entirely. Employees described him as difficult, impossible to satisfy. He talks about gratitude, one former associate said, but when the cameras stop rolling, it's a different story. Meanwhile, social media began to turn his image into parody. People joked about his endless self-promotion and exaggerated confidence. The internet loved him, but not the way they used to. He had become a character, a walking meme. Rather than an artist, that IT was no longer DJ Khaled, the visionary. It was DJ Khaled, the guy who screams his name and calls it art. And the saddest part? He knew it. Today, DJ Khaled still lives like a king. He's rich, famous, and connected to everyone in the industry. But fame isn't what it used to be. The spotlight that once adored him now watches him with skepticism. That he talks about golf, motivation, and family. But the hunger, the creative fire that once made him unstoppable, feels dimmer. The game has changed, and the audience has evolved. He can still call up the biggest stars, still drop anthems. But the magic? It's not guaranteed anymore. Some wonder if he'll reinvent himself, go back to the roots, make music for passion, not charts. Others believe he's chasing something he's already lost. One thing is certain: DJ Khaled's journey is a lesson in fame, ego, and endurance. He rose higher than almost anyone, and in doing so, proved that success can be both a blessing and a curse. As the camera fades to black, his voice echoes one last time. "They didn't believe in us, but God did." The words still sound powerful, but now they carry something else too. A hint of reflection, a shadow of doubt, and the haunting truth that maybe not even DJ Khaled can always win.